Hi everyone. This video is going to take care of the nose piece. So everything that has to do with fitting the nose properly. And I've added some features and references to help you get the best solution possible. In this case, I'm just using my default frame, and even without any pads, you can see that it's indicating the angle, the approximate angle for that front nose pad, and that's derived directly from your, in this case, from the rim, from the lens shape. So it's calculating and approximating that. In this case, 18 degrees. You won't be able to change this angle with any sliders or any numbers on the left, because this is totally dependent on your initial drawing. But if we do create the pads like so, then there are another set of features that will help you create the rest of the fit in here. Um, so first off is where that pad is located. So where it starts and where it ends. And the reference for this that I'm proposing is the midline for the lens. So you have a distance from that midline to the top and to the bottom, and that will indicate where that pad is starting, where the slope starts and where it ends. Depending on that, and depending on the pad depth, so this frame is, the total frame thickness is 4 millimeters, and on top of that I'm adding a depth of 4 for the pad, so this is 8 millimeters approx, because it's angled, but let's say it's 8 millimeters to the tallest part of the pad, and that's going to give me this point right here, which is basically the area, the center of the main area for that pad, depending on the pad design, of course. In this case, I'm using the pad with a high slope on top, but you can go down to the trapezoid, which is more squared off. This is more relative to each designer. Everything is very different for each one. But this is giving me a reference line in that main sector. In this case, it's 22 millimeters, which is quite a lot. And that's happening 4 millimeters below that midline again. We also have from that midline to the bottom of the bridge, 9.8. So that's another reference that you can use. These 22 millimeters are huge, and that's because this was, let's say I drew this frame incorrectly. My DBL was huge. I didn't intend it for it to be this much. So I can always go down to the DBL here, and let's say I want to take away 1.5 millimeters to those 21.9, 22 to make this gap smaller. That would be better. So you can play with that, and also you can play with the splay angle here on the left, currently at 20 degrees, and all this will change because each drawing is different. All these different customization features influence each other. So you would have to test with each of your designs to arrive at the solution that you want. Another feature that was requested was adding an angle or a chamfer below the bridge. This particular frame is not the best example because the bridge is not too tall, but still, in this case, you can see it's at 20 degrees. Here, bridge chamfer, we can take it to, let's say, 35. So that's going to end up being pretty thin there, and it's going to give us even more space under there. It's not the best frame for this example, but still, you can see the effect on all the nose portion. As you can see, it continues onto the pad, uses the pad splay, and then tapers off. What's next? And then finally, the bridge bump. The bridge bump by default is soft. What I'm saying there is just a soft curve. In this case, medium. You can use medium, high, higher. It's just an arbitrary naming to give you some added softness or curvature to that bump. But we can go for a hard bump. That it's going to look closer to what an acetate bump might look like so. So that's a hard bump you can see right there. But we have to fix, as you can see, this green line here is telling me where that starts and ends. So I call it the break position, and it's at minus 1.4 from the original. But let's go to go to 0. 0 is going to try to locate it at the curve. So that's a big error, and that's happening because the angle is also negative. I'm going to explain this in a second. There you go. So every time you do something and things break, that's because the geometry, and all geometries are going to be different, need some tweaking. And that in this case, the angle was negative. So this green line, if we look at it from the front, sorry, that green section, it's a section, was tilted to the left. I needed to tilt to the right, and I can tilt it even more. Let's say the maximum is 20. I'm gonna give it 15, like so, because I want to accompany this shape a bit more, like so, and I can move it left or right a bit more. So I would like to locate it right there. This is pretty experimental, and I'm going to try to add more intuitive tools for that particular bridge, but it's creating it's resembling a pretty nice bumped acetate frame. So that's about it. I think I covered everything. Combining all of this with your shapes, you can arrive at a very complex shape and control things pretty well. Of course, you can download this and continue working on your frames. Remember, if I were to round, in this case, my pad is pretty thin there. It's at 7.75. Let's say I want to go to 1 millimeter thick on the outer edge here. So that's going to give me more space if I wanted to round off those edges. But I don't want to make this video so long, so I'm going to I might add that in another video. Thanks for watching.